Hey guys, how's it going? So today's video is going to be on the resignation of John McCallum as Canada's ambassador to China. I'm going to be talking about what the resignation means and some of the possible consequences, as well as Canada's relationship with China and the United States. Let's get started. So in early December, Meng Wanzhou, who is the chief financial officer of the Chinese telecom company Huawei, was arrested in Canada at the request of the United States government. Meng Wanzhou is facing fraud charges relating to the United States sanctions on Iran, and the Canadians are expecting an extradition request by January 30th. Meng Wanzhou has put the Canadian government in the complicated situation of being in between the Chinese government and the American government. For those who don't know, historically speaking, the relationship between Canada and the United States, and that's the trading relationship, the diplomatic relationship, the economic relationship, have been extremely close because obviously the two countries share a border and many of their interests in terms of foreign policy historically have aligned very closely. So the fact that the Canadian government of Justin Trudeau has been very close with the Americans is not a surprise. So this is the context in which John McCallum made headlines in the last week or so about comments he made during a press conference with almost exclusively Chinese-speaking media outlets. One of the controversial things that Mr. McCallum was quoted as saying in this press conference was that it would not be a happy outcome if Meng Wanzhou were to be extradited to the US. He also essentially laid out a legal argument that her lawyers could use to help her avoid extradition to the United States. Following these remarks, Andrew Scheer, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada and leader of the official opposition in Canada, pushed for Mr. McCallum's resignation or firing. He later walked back these statements, but when asked further questions on the issue, he said that it would be great for Canada if the United States dropped the extradition request. And last Saturday, the Prime Minister released a letter saying that he asked for and accepted Mr. McCallum's resignation as Canada's ambassador to China. The fact that Mr. McCallum is now out as ambassador and a permanent replacement has yet to be named, it makes the relationship between Canada and China and the United States even more complicated because now there are two Canadian citizens arrested in China which Canada is trying to get released, and that complicates the negotiations because Canada now holds something that the Americans want and the Chinese hold something that the Canadians want in this negotiation. So the fact that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has publicly said that he's going to let Meng Wanzhou's arrest and extradition remain in the legal system as opposed to exerting any kind of political pressure, it seemed like the safest thing he could have done because he takes the blame completely off himself regardless of what happens with Meng Wanzhou as well as the Canadian prisoners in China. Just to add a tiny bit more context and color to this story, it's worth noting that Meng Wanzhou and the company she is the chief financial officer of has been under scrutiny lately from the counterintelligence perspective of the United States and others. Several weeks ago, an officer in Huawei, which is the company that Meng Wanzhou is chief financial officer of, was arrested in Poland on spying charges, which kind of lines up with what intelligence officials in the United States and other places have been saying about Huawei for some time. Anyway, guys, that's it for me on this one. If you like this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I do my best to upload once a week, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.